Hi there. Well, Ben Stokes may have been charged with a fray this week, but he could be back playing for England next month. We'll explain why the ECB have lifted their suspension.
We're expecting confirmation of Theo Walcott's move to Everton any time now. We'll keep up to speed with all the transfer news, including Mkhitaryan, who could hold the key for the transfer of Alexis Sanchez to Manchester United. We'll explain why a move to Arsenal might just suit Mkhitaryan. Elsewhere, Eddie Jones has signed a contract extension as the England head coach, but find out why that doesn't necessarily mean he'll be staying on any longer. Now, he joined almost 12 years ago today, but Theo Walcott is now on the verge of leaving Arsenal. Here he is arriving at Everton's training ground this morning. He completed his medical last night. We understand a fee in the region of £20 million has been agreed. Well, these stats might suggest why Everton have moved for an established winger. They've had the second fewest shots in the league so far this season. Only Swansea have had fewer. They've also put in the second fewest crosses. The only team with fewer is actually Arsenal. And Everton are bottom for number of dribbles completed, just 132 so far this season. Ian Wright hopes the move will revitalise Walcott's career.
Theo's 12 years there. And, you know, some people will say, how much has he improved? You know, the talk is Arsene Wenger doesn't improve players. You know, Theo is the same player that that got there. He's just older. He's not learned a particular trade. He's just blasting on his pace. Years ago, he could have taught him the central striking role, the runs, the movement, the stuff. And now at Everton, I just hope that he can just have a few years in his career where he can play continuously.
Let's get more on the latest on Alexis Sanchez. Another outgoing from Arsenal. Manchester United are continuing their attempts to sign him, but it appears that it hinges on Mkhitaryan going in the opposite direction. And Mkhitaryan's agent, Mino Raiola, claims Sanchez is part of the deal for the Armenian and not the other way around. And get this, we found an interview with Mkhitaryan. He did it 8 years ago, where he admitted being an Arsenal fan. He said, "My favourite team is Arsenal. I like their attacking play and fast style. Moreover, Arsene Wenger puts faith in young players while demanding results at the same time. I like that and want to play there one day." Ian Wright, though, isn't convinced a transfer to Arsenal is the right move for Mkhitaryan.
He's a player that seems to be lacking a massive amount of confidence. And now Man United need him to do them a favour. He could cause a lot of problems for the deal if this deal's going to happen. If I was Mkhitaryan, I'd say I want to stay. I want to try and do something here at Man United. Then it's up to Mourinho to get him out. But I don't know with Mkhitaryan going the other way. You know, he's not a player that Arsenal have been after. All of a sudden, he's a player that Arsenal have been handed.
If we can get a guy like Malcom or Mkhitaryan instead, that would really sort a lot of our issues out. Get somebody of a somewhat equal caliber. I know I would say they're a step below what Alexis Sanchez offers Arsenal, but at this point we're going to lose him in the summer for nothing.
Ultimately, his enthusiasm's gone, and I think we've got to a place now where he's got to go. He wants to go, club doesn't want him, teammates aren't happy with him, so here we are. Here we are.
There's only so much you can achieve playing for Arsenal in the capital city, and that's money. But Manchester United have got more than us, and also they're above us in the league. And they've got this habit of changing the way that they play if it's not going the way that they want it to. Whereas Arsenal have been sticking to Wenger ball at this new stadium since 2006, aren't changing it, and it's just not working.
Sanchez's departure could continue a disappointing trend for Arsenal fans, with key players leaving to join top four rivals. Who can forget the long-running saga surrounding Ashley Cole's move to Chelsea? 3 years later, Emmanuel Adebayor left to join Manchester City for a fee of around £25 million. And almost inevitably, he scored an 8-4-2 win a couple of months later. That led to one of the iconic Premier League celebrations. He ran the entire length of the pitch after his goal, just to celebrate in front of the travelling fans. It later saw him receive a suspended 2-match ban. That same summer, Kolo Touré left the Emirates to join Adebayor. He was immediately given the captaincy at City. It wasn't long before they were joined by another former Arsenal player, with Samir Nasri joining in the summer of 2011. And arguably the most painful of all, this man, who arrived at Old Trafford back in 2012.
with the early cross. And a poor header gives it to Robin van Persie. You could have put money on it.
And in the most recent summer transfer window, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain left to join Liverpool. As for Sanchez's next destination, well, we'll find out soon enough. What about potential arrivals at Arsenal? Well, they remain optimistic of signing Borussia Dortmund striker Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He was back in training yesterday after being dropped for disciplinary reasons. Guillaume Balaguer has been told Arsenal are willing to spend around £53 million to sign him, and he would be a straight replacement for Sanchez.
And what about the Bordeaux forward Malcom? Well, we told you yesterday the president of the club had indicated there was no way that he would leave in this window, but a conflicting view from the Bordeaux coach, he revealed that Malcom is considering an offer from Arsenal. Now, we understand that Simon Mignolet is not considering his future and that he remains fully committed to Liverpool. The Belgian international was left out of the lineup for Sunday's win over Manchester City. Mignolet has started 19 of Liverpool's 23 Premier League games this season. Chelsea have made an approach for the Roma defender Emerson Palmieri, according to our colleagues in Italy, that is. It's thought that Roma are prepared to let him go for a fee of around £20 million. So far, no comment from Chelsea. But Chelsea have also been linked with the move for Andy Carroll, of course. We understand that West Ham would listen to offers of £20 million for the striker, and this is what David Moyes said about Carroll last night.
There's been a lot of rumours regarding a loan. But as far as I know, it's never officially come from Chelsea. Andy Carroll's one of my squad. I want to add to the squad, not lose players from my squad. So I think that, well, I know nothing about it.
Andy Carroll's a very vital player for West Ham. Even though they've, started to pick up some results, it's still a long way to go.
In the meter, and we'll sort that one out. Now, Javi Hernandez missed West Ham's FA Cup replay against Shrewsbury Town because he was unwell, not because he no longer features in Moyes' plans.
Chicharito's got the flu, so adding to that group, that was Chicharito with the flu. He was in, saw the doctor yesterday, so unfortunately he wasn't available.
Would you be willing to lose him in this window?
Not unless there was any situations came around that meant that changed, but at the moment, as I say, I'm not keen to lose any players at all. I'm more keen to add to the squad.
Well, not a great start to his West Ham career for Javi Hernandez. He's managed just 4 goals in 17 games and failed to make a single assist. That's a goal every 261 minutes on average, with less than 20% of his shots finding the net. Don't forget, you can listen to our Transfer Talk podcast, where our reporters discuss all the latest news and rumours. That's available to download on the Sky Sports website, on iTunes and Acast as well. You can see our next Transfer Centre at 3 this afternoon, and further editions at 7 and 10 tonight.
Some big news today concerning this man, Eddie Jones. Next, we're live to Twickenham to find out all about it.
Now, the Bordeaux striker Malcom has been ordered to appear before a club disciplinary committee over a video showing him joking after a defeat. The 20-year-old Brazilian made a social media video laughing and exchanging jokes with teammates Jonathan Cafu and Otavio and friends outside Bordeaux Stadium following the club's 2-0 home defeat to Caen on Tuesday. The club said Malcom had showed a lack of maturity, solidarity and respect towards the club and all of its staff. What will that mean for any potential move to Arsenal in this window, or indeed in the summer? We'll keep you in touch. Now, the Chelsea head coach Antonio Conte will rotate his squad for tonight's third-round FA Cup replay against Norwich, though he does accept it's a risk.
Another game in a busy period for us, and for sure I have to make many changes. Also because after two days we have to play against Brighton. This is the great risk to make rotations. Also because if you want to face to go to the next round in every competition, this is the only way that we can do.
Well, Conte will be without Gary Cahill after the defender limped off with a hamstring injury in Saturday's draw against Leicester. Cesc Fabregas is also missing. He's got the same injury problem. Ross Barkley's not eligible to face Norwich because he signed after the required deadline, but Conte says he could feature against Brighton on Saturday.
We are preparing a friendly game for him during this week, and then we'll see his physical condition. But as I said before, and I'm very happy for his commitment, for his physical condition, and he could be ready. He could be ready for the next game or for the next game.
After coming close to an FA Cup embarrassment against Wigan, the Bournemouth manager Eddie Howe is not underestimating the League One opposition. Bournemouth found themselves, remember, 2 goals down against Wigan 11 days ago, but salvaged a replay when Lys Mousset and Steve Cook scored late on.
It'll be a case of trying to make the right decisions in terms of who we feel can go again, who we feel may need a rest, giving an opportunity to players, trying to find the right balance between making sure that
Now, you couldn't blame the Celtic players for having a few post-holiday blues this week after a week of warm weather training in Dubai. It was back to reality as they battled against the elements in training. Take a look at this. Could be a Christmas card almost, but it is. The Chelsea training ground after a night of heavy snow in that part of the world. Players battled through, of course they did, and they seem to be in pretty good spirits as they prepare for Saturday's Scottish Cup tie against Brechin. Hibs will know how they feel. Similar story for them at their training ground yesterday. Head coach Neil Lennon feeling the chill and coming, as all good bosses do, well equipped. Well done, Neil.
Sheringham's come for the pass, and Schuster scores! His 100th goal in Tottenham colours. And the overhead finds the net. 47 seconds, and it's the hottest striker in the land, Jermaine Defoe. It's Berbatov. A smooth operator has just measured the ball into the West Ham net. Brilliant work by Keane. Robbie Keane! Sensational!
Oh yes, some great goal scorers in Tottenham's Premier League years, but none better than Harry Kane. He's aiming for 100 Premier League goals this weekend. He needs 2 live on Sky against Southampton. So Kane chasing the 100, but his double against Everton took him to 20 league goals this season, and that is the 4th consecutive campaign that he's achieved that. Now, the first was back in 2014-15. His 20 goals came in 29 games, with 4 coming from his head. He finished the season on 21. Following season, he actually took slightly longer, needing 31 games, but he did go on to score more goals overall with 25. Last season, big improvement, reached the 20 mark after just 24 games and finished down the bottom there, a league high 29 goals. This season, so far, even quicker, took him just 22 games, and interestingly, he scored more goals, 9, with his left foot than his preferred right so far.
Henry! What a goal!
Oh, he's going it alone at the moment. And why not? There was just no stopping him.
So how do the Kane stats compare to those of Thierry Henry? Well, Kane reached 20 goals this and last season quicker than Henry ever managed it. His quickest was after 26 games, but he did reach the 30-goal mark in that season. Will Kane hit that this season?
Shearer chasing it on, he's behind Pallister, can't pull him down. There's the inevitable outcome. They're off the bench. Blackburn Rovers. Shearer strikes again. Shearer going on, and he's done the trick. Straight through the centre. Strength and skill combined. That sums up Alan Shearer.
Yep, Alan Shearer with hair scored 20 goals in a record 7 seasons, and the first 4 seasons he managed it incredibly quickly. He matches Kane's 22 games in 3 seasons, and he reached 30 goals 3 times. No one scored more than the 34 he notched in the 1994-95 season. Ian Wright has accused footballing authorities of not caring enough about the problem of racism. The issue has been highlighted once again after Liverpool's Rhian Brewster spoke out about the racist abuse he suffered in his career.
There's nothing that's done that's hard-hitting enough to stop people even doing maybe what we've seen in the last couple of... Look at little Rhian Brewster. You know, he's a World Cup winner. You know, and he's still, at this stage, we're talking about the late great now, Cyril Regis, and, you know, Rhian Brewster's still dealing with that in 2018. And simply because the powers that be, they do not care about racism enough to actually do something. Close stadiums if they're doing it. You know, close them down. You know, ban people. You know, stop it completely. You know, They can do it. They've got the power to go bam and stop it, but they don't do it.
The first of more than 100 victims have testified at the sentencing hearing of the former USA gymnastics team Dr. Larry Nassar. The hearing comes a day after 4-time Olympic gold medalist Simone Biles said she'd been sexually abused by Nassar. He'll be sentenced this week on charges of criminal sexual conduct. One of his victims, Chelsea Malcom, took her own life 9 years ago. Let's talk about technology now. Kelechi Iheanacho became the first player to score a goal awarded by a video assistant referee in English football as Leicester beat Fleetwood 2-0 in their 3rd round replay. Iheanacho's second goal was initially ruled out for offside after a through ball from Riyad Mahrez, but referee John Moss liaised with video official Mike Jones and the goal was given 67 seconds after the ball hit the net. So, what did the managers make of the VAR system?
I think it's perfect, of course. Yeah, no, of course it was a good thing.
Can they really say today there was onside for the second goal, or are they guessing? So sometimes even VAR is not 100% clear.
Still a talking point. Former World Player of the Year Ronaldinho has retired at the age of 37. The former Barcelona and AC Milan forward won the World Cup with Brazil in 2002, the 2006 Champions League with Brazil, and he was crowned FIFA World Player of the Year twice.
Minutes to go. Crucial kick from Ronaldinho! The greatest player on the planet. The man is a footballing god. A master at work. Ronaldinho. He wants to make it 3-0. Goes past Elguera if he isn't there and puts it through the legs. Real Madrid fans applauding. You are watching one of the all-time greats at the peak of his powers.
Now, there have been more tributes today for the former West Brom and Coventry striker Cyril Regis. This was the scene this morning at the Hawthorns. Flag flying at half-mast. Fans have been leaving flowers and messages on the gates outside the ground today. Regis was famously a part of the 3 Degrees at the club, along with Laurie Cunningham and Brendan Batson. He was seen as a pioneer for black footballers. He made more than 200 appearances for West Brom, scoring 81 times. England say Ben Stokes can play for them again next month. Reaction next.